I want to do some structures of the brain. To start off with, let's do the gyrus. So remember that the gyrus is going to be the ridges. So here are the gyri, and then the valleys right here, here, right here, right here are these sulci. And I want to also tell you that you have fissures. These are deeper sulci. So this fissure right here would be the longitudinal fissure, which separates the two hemispheres, the two cerebral hemispheres. Now, this fissure right here would be the transverse fissure, which separates the cerebellum from the cerebrum. So we have the gyri, which are the ridges, and then the sulci, which are the valleys. We have the cerebral cortex. So let's look at the cerebral cortex region. Let me pull this brain apart a little bit. And we can pretty much see right here. We see the cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex is made up of neuronal cell bodies and dendrites. The cerebral medulla is made up of myelinated axons, and that's the reason it's lighter colored. So you have the cerebral cortex region, and then this cerebral medulla region. Now, let's move on to the insula. So, let me put this brain back together so I can show you. So, I've put this brain back together here. As we see here, it's been put back together. And let's just tear it apart here. So remember, you have your frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, temporal lobe. Now, you remove the temporal lobe and the frontal and parietal lobe, and you will see this structure right here. This is sometimes called the fifth lobe, and this is the insula region. This is the insula region. Okay? This is the insula. Now, let's put this brain back together again. And I'm going to show you another structure. Well, two more structures. So here we have it back together. And this is the cerebrum right here. This is the cerebellum. Now, there's a region called the Cerebral Peduncle, which is going to connect the cerebrum to the brainstem. And here we see this region right here. This is the Cerebral Peduncle here, right there. Cerebral Peduncle right here. Now, there's a region right here This region right here is called the cerebellar peduncle, which connects the brainstem to the cerebellum. See? Cerebral peduncle, cerebellar peduncle. Now, we're going to talk about the lateral ventricles. Now, I'm just going to refer to this area right here. So this area right here would be this clear septum or the septum pellucidum. Clear septum or the septum pellucidum. Now, when you take the skull apart, let me tear it apart again. If you look right here, we see the choroid plexus of the lateral ventricle. Choroid plexus of the lateral ventricle. Okay? And let's put it back together. Well, let's just go over here. This structure right here is the choroid plexus of the third ventricle. Choroid plexus of the third ventricle. And this is the fourth ventricle here. So third ventricle will be in this area here. Deep within, when you penetrate the clear septum, that would be where you would have the lateral ventricle, as we see here. Here is the choroid plexus region of the lateral ventricle. Here's the choroid plexus region of the third ventricle. And here is the fourth ventricle right here. And let's see. I think we've went through everything here. Oh yeah, the central canal. So here you have the cerebral aqueduct here, and here is the central canal here. And we're finished.